They're not quiet. They're not boring. And they're definitely not antisocial. People who don't post on social media have a psychology that's far deeper, sharper, and more mysterious than anyone realizes. Here's what their silence is really hiding. They don't seek external validation, and that intimidates people. Most people post because they want something in return, a like, a comment, a reaction, proof that they exist in other people's eyes. But the ones who stay silent, they don't need that. They validate themselves internally, and that's rare. Their self-worth doesn't swing up and down based on how many people double-tap a picture or reply to a story. This makes them harder to read, and even harder to influence. Their silence creates an unusual psychological power. They're less controlled by the world and more in control of themselves. When people don't post, others can't measure them. And when you can't measure someone, you feel slightly threatened by them, even if you never admit it. They value privacy because they know attention is a currency. People who avoid posting aren't afraid of being seen, they're afraid of being accessed. They understand a subtle truth. Every time you post, you open a door. You invite strangers into your life. You give people a small piece of your identity. And once people get used to watching you, they feel entitled to judge you. Silent profiles come from people who don't want to be a public showroom. They want a life, not an audience. Their privacy isn't a lack of confidence. It's a strategic barrier, a psychological filter that keeps their world clean, selective, and peaceful. They observe more than they reveal. People who don't post are some of the strongest observers you'll ever meet. While everyone else is busy performing online, they're watching patterns. Who posts for attention? Who posts out of insecurity? Who posts to prove something? Who posts to impress people they secretly dislike? And they learn a lot about human nature just by watching. They see the subtle attention hunger, the competition, the silent battles for validation, the need to look happier than reality. By staying quiet, they understand people better than most. Because when you say nothing, people show you everything. They only share with people who earn the right to know. People who don't post aren't trying to hide. They're just selective. There's a difference between being private and being secretive. Secretive people hide everything because they fear judgment. Private people hide nothing. They just choose who gets access. If they share something, it's intentional. If they tell someone a detail about their life, it's because that person earned trust. Their silence online forces people to connect with them in real life, instead of relying on curated updates and forced transparency. They believe intimacy is something you build slowly, not something you broadcast instantly. They reject the pressure to perform. Posting on social media isn't neutral, it's a performance. You think about the angle, the caption, the lighting, the reaction people will have, the version of yourself you want to show. People who stay offline don't want to participate in that performance. They don't want to be judged for what they share. They don't want to be compared to people doing better. They don't want their joy to look like bragging. They don't want their sadness to look like weakness. Their silence is their refusal to play a game that exhausts everyone but benefits no one. They choose real life over virtual applause. They know peace is found in what isn't posted. Quiet people understand something most people overlook. The happiest moments lose something the moment you try to capture them for an audience. When you're busy recording a sunset, you're not watching it. When you're thinking about the comments section, you're not living the moment. When you're planning how to post a memory, you're not feeling it. People who don't post protect their peace by keeping their joy offline. Some moments become more sacred when no one else sees them. Their silence is a way of protecting the emotional weight of their experiences. The world doesn't get to touch everything they feel. They avoid the psychological trap of comparison. Social media creates one of the strongest distortions in the human mind, constant, unconscious comparison. And people who don't post, they understand this trap better than anyone. They know how easy it is to look at someone else's filtered life and begin questioning your own, even when you were perfectly fine a moment ago. So instead of fighting a mental battle they never asked for, they simply step out of the arena. Their silence isn't fear, it's emotional intelligence, a refusal to let someone else's highlight reel rewrite their self-worth. Their absence online is actually proof of something deeper. They're fully present in their own life. They build identity from within, not from algorithms. The biggest psychological difference is simple but powerful. People who don't post don't construct their identity through reactions, metrics, or visibility. They don't need likes to feel seen. They don't need followers to feel valued. They don't need stories to feel alive. Their identity is shaped by habits, choices, relationships, and self-reflection, not by algorithms that reward exaggeration and punish authenticity. They're not disappearing from the world. They're just choosing to exist in places where noise can't define them, and that makes them more grounded, more stable, and more self-contained than most people will ever be. Thank you for watching this video. Follow for more.